Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Purely. So I love that, right? Like
It's a fun combo.
Yeah.
For this, Rebecca, try to be like here-ish. So
And
we try not to rattle
Okay.
and
I
stuff.
just don't have to sit on
Yeah.
my hands.
I'm not an
I'm going to
ASMR.
keep my hands under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of find
You can hold your coffee cup.
find a spot that works for you, just so
Okay.
that way you don't have to make out with it, but you still want to be
Love my
close.
Okay.
Yeah. Buy at dinner at least before you know.
cute. Look how cute. We
Can
don't
give-
have ugly people on the podcast.
We can
I'm gonna keep saying
give my
I
friend
want a T-shirt
shout
that
out.
says "No ugly people."
no ugly people on our podcast. Have Kyle.
When I was getting dressed, I literally was like, what can
No
I wear
ugly
from
people.
JLux today?
Oh, well, see, we can talk about that.
Shout out
then.
to our
We can-
sponsor.
We can.
I wish.
We
That'd
can
be
give
awesome.
Kelly a shout out.
I wish.
Yeah. We should. We should. Yeah.
Get her on the show.
We could.
Okay.
You can tell her how difficult this was. Very intense process.
Very intense. We're gonna
Super
grill you about
formal.
all of your things now.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like we're good. We're recording there. Bump that just a hair. All right. Everybody ready? Phone silenced, all that fun stuff.
Ready, Freddy.
Wonderful. Okay. Welcome back to the Real Chat Podcast. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's Allison Elise, Mandy Wilkie. Ladies, a very good day to you. Happy Monday.
good day to you,
A
sir.
good day to you. It's a sunny day. It's a
Sunny
beautiful
day.
day. We, I believe, outside of one other time from our roundtable, this is our first dive into the real estate space for a guest
Yes.
today. Amanda Furman was on. She was
I
on the
think-
roundtable.
yeah.
Love Amanda Furman. But I don't think we've ever dove much deeper than
Nope.
that.
I don't think we have. You're our first.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
So we have a great guest today, Rebecca Larsen. She's a commercial realtor, a Sagittarius. If you know, you know.
I don't know where that's from. Is that from social media?
My Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm pulling
I'm
this
not an
straight off the-
influencer.
Feel like
not.
if you know, you know.
If
Like,
you know, you know.
But if you know, you
right?
know.
Yeah.
Correct. She's been in real estate for how long?
A minute. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I've been on my own for about 6 months, but I was in a commercial or a corporate real estate setting for 5 years before this.
Very nice. Well, welcome to the podcast,
Thank you
Rebecca.
for having me.
Glad to have you. I love real estate. I love working with people in real estate. That's a huge part of what I do in my business. So I feel like I have a lot of real estate-y questions, but I'm also obviously open to other conversations as well. But I'm always fascinated the origin story. Why real estate? How did you get involved in it?
Yeah.
So I guess I really don't have like a cool story of how I got involved in it. My husband and I have always kind of had a passion for old houses, and I think it kind of started there where we were buying these houses and essentially flipping them, kind of living in them at the same time. And then I think that's kind of where my desire to kind of explore it got into. But I really owe it to my last boss at my corporate job, who really gave me the opportunity to get involved in so many different real estate type situations without being at a real estate company.
Okay.
I did a lot of deals. I got to meet a ton of awesome business owners, and it exposed me to this world that, yeah, there's buying and selling a house, but then there's also this commercial side where you are part of someone's business.
right.
It's a little different emotions and
Right.
dreams that you're playing with versus a house. So from that job, I really got into the deal making and the thought process and the strategic direction that I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Every day is different.
Yeah.
Yes, 100% it is. And the people that you meet along the way and the experiences, right? Because no two deals are ever the same.
No.
You could think it would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell the same bakery space twice, but it's going to, completely
Right.
different, right?
Yes.
Like, whoa.
Exactly.
Because one of the things, I believe if I saw this, you're helping sell Sports Emporium right now, right? You're a part of that whole process,
So
right?
my broker, Ben, has the listing for that one, and it is back on the market, but such a cool building, even outside of it being an indoor soccer field.
Yeah.
The opportunity from a warehouse perspective
Yeah,
or a
very
light
unique way to
industrial,
build space.
and it's a perfect size. It's very hard to find that type of space in this area right now.
Yes, very true.
Do you think it's going to sell pretty quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Even this morning, I was working on some angles for it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, right?
I can't tell you that.
Tell you exactly
However,
what, but I hope.
let's just speak that into the universe.
Correct.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Exactly.
let's
Put it
speak
out
it
there,
into the
put it out
universe
there.
that it'll sell. That's the
That's
hope,
the
right?
thing,
The hope is that everything that you list sells.
Yes.
That you
Correct.
always find a home for these businesses. Correct. Depending on if they're outgrowing their spaces or if they're trying to downsize their spaces.
Yep.
There's so many angles to look at it from that perspective. And knowing someone that's seasoned in the industry, really, I mean, you can't do that by yourself.
No.
To have access to what's going to become available or what, those conversations happen with you.
And I think that's the big thing about commercial, and I think other commercial agents will agree with me. A lot of what we do is off the market.
Yeah.
So if you do have a
Because
need
you
for
know
something,
somebody
know
who
a
knows
person.
somebody.
Because you're
you
dealing
got to
usually-
talk to somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Exactly.
And it's all about the relationships
And
at
it's
the end
only
of
a
the
bigger
day.
ticket item, right? Like the Sports Emporium is a little under $2 million that you're trying to sell it for, right? Like
Correct.
that's not something me as a normal person be like, hey, I got $2 million hanging around. Like you got
Right.
anything for me? Like you obviously have this kind of Rolodex of people that are like,
Yes.
hey, if anything ever comes up, I've got the funding.
Correct.
I can move if I need to.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So
If
that's
it's the perfect spot for them or
Correct, yeah,
something.
it's a
And
different
that's a
type of
lot of
clientele.
it is people just telling me, hey, if you see this, if you see this. And
Like
I'm
I need
Yep.
I need
I'll hunt.
street vision. I need
Totally.
this. I
Correct,
need it
yeah.
to be easy. I need
Close
parking.
to
I need
downtown,
highways.
whatever, Lambo, whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
Why commercial and not home? Or residential? Is that the official?
I think, residential. I think for me, from a commercial perspective, it's a business deal. It's you're dealing with business owners. You're dealing with people that essentially are looking at dollars and cents.
Sure.
I think on a residential side, there's a lot of emotion that comes
Sentimental.
along with it.
Yeah,
Where
what's
I mean,
the neighborhood? What's the school district?
Yeah.
What's this? Yeah.
and just more things that you kind of have to worry about, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, businesses have their struggles and their emotions or their ties, especially if they're retiring and they're about to sell their business and their building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
lot.
That's a lot. But I don't know. I think that being on the business side, I'm so like driven by business itself that I like talking business. I like learning about the businesses. I like referring people to the businesses. So there's more that I get a lot out of it. From
Yeah.
I was going to say, it
even-
seems to go hand in
It
hand
fills
with your
my cup.
personality.
Very much
Yeah.
so,
Like,
yeah.
yes.
I
Not
think
that
that's awesome.
people and their families don't, but
Yeah.
I think the common theme that we've heard from our first 3 guests of the year is relationships, connections, and networking.
Correct.
Right.
Goes a long
And
way.
Midwest nice. So you talked a little bit about when you have to work with other commercial realtors, right? How do you, in a world that real estate can be cutthroat, right? How do you develop these key relationships where you're building each other up in a competitive market instead of I'm trying to get a step ahead, right? Like kudos to people that can do it, but how do you keep your wits about you when you're doing it?
I think who I am as a person is we can all win, right? I think that if I've got a buyer and someone's got a listing, how do we make us both win?
Right.
There are some in the industry that don't always view that, but then I think at the end of the day, it shows in maybe who they're working with, what they're doing, or their lack.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Of business, maybe. Sure. I'd rather be known for being the person that, hey, let's call Rebecca. Yeah, it would be great, even if you can just give a referral fee or something. But even if I didn't get paid out of it, the satisfaction of being a part of helping somebody fills my cup up. Like, yes, I need to get paid. We all have,
we all do.
We all have our habits and things like that. But at the end of the day, I do care about the person, the community, and I want to see people succeed.
Right.
So,
Right.
100%.
I think that's super admirable. And when people, I've had conversations before because I like to think I'm a good connector, and people are like, you need to monetize that. Like if someone calls you and says, who do I call? And then you connect them and it works for them.
You could have a whole separate business, truly, Mandy.
Well, thank you. But that's not why I do it, right? And I think that's the important thing. And we talked about this before a little bit with Kyle when he was on, is doing the right thing and doing good things comes full circle.
Correct.
And I think so many times the world that we live in now is filled with a lot of negativity. And it's like what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
But people don't look at that in a positive way. And I do know that the more that we do the right thing, the more the right thing will happen for us.
Correct.
Right? What goes around
100%.
comes around in a positive way. So I love that that's your attitude on that.
From a commercial perspective, Green Bay is not a huge area. So how much competition do you have as far as others that are selling also or buying or selling in the commercial real estate, like that do what you do? And that's like I said, I'm very much on the residential side for what I do for my clients. So I don't have a ton of commercial experience. So what is that? How many other people are you consistently working with or against?
I think there's a good amount of commercial focused agents in the area. Some really big ones that honestly have been phenomenal to partner with because they do have a bigger Rolodex of people. So being able to say, hey, I've got this listing. Do you have anybody you've been working with, or how would you approach this? I've had great success with it. But I think that there is enough work to go around, and everybody chooses who to work with for a different reason.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Somebody may choose the biggest company because their name's on it and they're automatically
Biggest network.
The billboard,
they have the biggest
see the
network.
whatever,
I mean, I can't compete with that. But there are people who want that, I would say, more intimate connection. Like I'm going to be there. You're going to get my full attention.
Correct.
And it's
I
you.
have a very good network of people that being able to tap into that, to me, is priceless for that
100%.
person to trust me to be able to do it, and I'm going to get the job done. It's no goal. It's not obviously not a goal to have to take a listing off or not have a deal closed.
You asked me to sell it, I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, I'm going to try my hardest and put my all into it and treat you well through the process and just keep the communication open and all of that.
I think that's interesting too. I was at a real estate event last week, and that was something I constantly heard: is there's enough to go around. Because I do feel like oh my gosh, that person's in real estate now, and like it's like every other minute a real estate agent is born, right? It's like okay, like everyone calm down, but there really is though. Like the more that you see it, there is more than enough for everybody at every levels. You know, small, luxury, commercial, all of that. There is so much to go around for people.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to ask, you mentioned and you gave kudos to the corporation that you worked for before this, which is great, right? If you can leave on a high note and say, hey, I'm leaving you to go out and pursue my own. But what was the support like in that decision, or what made you decide to leave that corporate role? Because I think from when you and I chatted at the coffee shop not too long ago, you really did enjoy that role. It wasn't something you were like, I can't wait to get out of this and start my own gig. So what was it that made you make the decision 6 months ago to go out on your own?
I think part of my decision, so yes, to your point, I loved my job.
Tips and tools,
yeah,
right?
I loved my job.
What were you doing?
I was doing real estate for an industrial company.
Oh, okay.
And so I was in really cool opportunities and involved in so much. But I think for myself is I have this, I love my cup to be filled. And there's things that when you're in a corporation, you are kind of told like, hey, here's your project. Here's the direction.
Here's your box.
Yeah, and although you can be creative within your bounds, something in me wasn't getting that creative outlet. And I think being on my own has given me the ability to kind of pave my own path. I mean, it hasn't been easy. There's like a fine
what,
right? Like it's
real
not all
kidding.
Not all rainbows and butterflies.
Wait a minute.
I know. I had no
venture out on your own independent.
I thought I was just going to walk into this easy. Yeah. But I think being able to kind of make my own vision and I talk about relationships so much, but I'm able to pour into people more now, just without having that like gray area of, well,
Can I, should I, what are my boundaries?
Oh, I have to get someone's approval for this, or just all of like that kind of comes with the corporate world. But yeah, definitely being on my own fills my entrepreneurial mindset of, hey, what challenge are we taking on today? Or, oh, how are we going to overcome this? Or, hey, this is what I'm seeing in the industry. How can I be different?
Yeah.
Right.
Where does that come from? Because most of us have somebody, or it was a parent or a grandparent or an uncle or an aunt, right, growing up. They're like, oh my gosh, they have their own business. That's so cool. And that kind of starts the bug, right? Most of us aren't just born immediately like, I'm going to
I didn't have that.
one day,
Yeah.
right? Like,
or work corporate world and then, middle age, be like,
Unless
I'm going to
you're
start
a
my business.
Sagittarius.
there we go. Right?
There's your
Exactly.
answer.
You're like,
If you know,
whatever.
you know.
There's your
Exactly.
answer.
But like, where did that come from, or who inspired you at a younger age maybe to be like, I think I'm going to do this one day?
So I'm an only child, and
That's say no more. That's all we
right?
need.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot that growing up, I was always very creative. I was always kind of playing by myself, or I was always having to kind of figure out ways to entertain myself. And it gave me this ability to be independent, obviously. And I think it made it very hard for me to want to work in a company. When I went to college, I always told my mom, I will never work in corporate America. And she used to say, Rebecca, you say that, but you will be in corporate America. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. And I
did it.
I did, and I did, and I didn't. And I have a very supportive husband. My family's very supportive, and every crazy idea that I've had, they've been like, all right,
Here we go, Mom.
buckle up.
Which is
here we go.
That's
Don't you
pivotal.
sometimes wish people would be like, no, that's a bad idea, and you're like,
But
dang it.
But you don't listen when
Right,
they do
you don't. It
Correct.
pushes.
They're
It
like, they don't
motivates
know.
you more.
They don't know.
Yeah,
It motivates you more, and having the support around you is so pivotal
Correct.
with an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes.
Like, especially if you have children in the home, if you have anybody else around you, like when you have the support from your parents and your family members, that's huge.
Correct.
For success.
I'm really curious, and I don't know how much I've had this discussion before, ladies, and I'm curious now too. You talked about that supportive husband and supportive family. I had this discussion with my wife this morning, actually, about like my business as a whole, right? Like we had a conversation a few months ago when I went full time about like how much do you or don't you want to know about what I do on a daily basis, right? And obviously it was like if it dramatically affects our family or whatever, she's like, I want to know. How much do you share on the day-to-day of like with your family when you come home and your husband's like,
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
how was your day, right? Like, do you let them into that world altogether, or do you try to keep it high level as far as like what you share and what you're doing on a daily basis? Because as an extrovert, I want to tell everybody everything all the time about anything, right? But my wife is like, I love you, but that's not.
I don't care.
It doesn't. Yeah, and within not so many words, right? Like I don't care. I care about you, and I'm glad you had a good day. But like, I don't need to know about the 73 things. Just tell me the high level. Was it a good shoot? Did you get what you needed? Did you close that deal? Wonderful. Can we have dinner? Right, type of thing. Right. Like that's not that she doesn't care, but like how does that relationship look on your end?
So everyone's involved, and as crazy as it sounds, so my husband has helped build my signs. He will pick them up, move them around. The kids help. He's 6. He just turned 6 yesterday. So my son, he loves to build. So for him to be able to be involved in building mom signs,
That's so cool.
has
So
been
cool.
super special.
Yeah.
There's a pretty cute video that they took when they hung they bolted it to the ground, but put my first commercial sign out. They were so
fun.
excited. But no, my husband is probably my ideal. Like, I throw all my ideas at him, and then he helps me, like, let's bring this in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's think through this. Like, what are you trying to do? So I do probably call him like 5 times during the day. Like, hey, I've got this opportunity. What do you think? And he's like, why don't you think through it a little more and then call me back?
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm more of like, I will bring every idea, everything within reason that I'm working on, especially if I'm like, hey, I need some guidance on how would I like approach this person, or does this idea sound crazy?
Yeah.
But no, we're very involved as a family. So I think it actually helps a lot too.
I love that. Are you ladies the same way, or how does that relationship work? I know you're in a unique situation, man.
Yeah, we never stop talking about work.
So you and Shane, like 99.9% of the time, right? But like, do you use the immediate family as a sounding board? I'll call my mom randomly because we talk pretty consistently. She'll be like, Mom, like, just unbiased opinion, yes or no on this, and sometimes that like person that's not in it every day is a great lens. Like, I had a good conversation about something I'm doing with my business with her today, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that angle. She's like, yeah, like if you tried this and this and this, and
It's interesting. I mean, I think for us, and we now both work from home. So, that has changed our dynamic.
we had that
a little
conversation
bit.
earlier.
We
yeah.
did. So I think the key thing is that there's still, like, it's very funny because Shane loves to learn. He
Yes.
loves to
Big
learn.
learner.
So he's always reading, always listening to a podcast, and I'm like, can we take a break from things? Can we just sit and mindlessly scroll TikTok for a minute? But it was funny because I listened to a podcast the other day, and there was this great tip about gratitude. And I was like, he came home and I'm like, guess what? I learned something today. And he was like, what? And I'm like,
You just share this.
in between all of my coaching calls, I took 20 minutes and I listened to a podcast and I learned something that I wanted to take away. So I think like those types of things we're really great at. But, I shared this with you before. It's also good to have the boundaries of like, I'm excited to get away for the weekend. 'Cause
Correct.
we need to connect as a couple,
Yeah.
not as two
business owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
bouncing
competitive
ideas.
people. So we're always like, I'll be like, oh, I got a new partner today. He's like, what'd you do the other 8 hours? He's like my best cheerleader in the worst way. No, but
Get out of the house. You don't need to know if I'm here or
Yeah,
not.
right,
like,
exactly.
oh, I have 6 meetings this week. He's like, what are you doing the other 32 hours,
Oh,
34
funny.
hours? But so I think it's good to have that healthy balance, right? And especially with our kids. And my youngest thinks it's cool that a lot of people know who I am.
Yeah.
They're like, Mom, everywhere we go, people know you. And I don't mean that to sound the way it sounds, but
I relate to that too.
But my
Same here,
older
yeah.
kids are like, Mom, everywhere we go, somebody knows
Right.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
they're
come
not excited
on,
about
Target,
Like,
you see
stop
5 people
it.
that you know,
Yeah.
and you never stop talking.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. I'm done.
Correct.
I think it's important for them to know. It'll be interesting for you because your kids are younger. My kids are older. We had my daughter on the podcast when we first started.
Yep.
And I had never heard her perspective on her mom as a business
Fascinating
owner.
episode.
That would
So
be
Highly
to have-
recommend
very
people
cool
listen to
To
episode.
have
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
19, she was 19, I think, at the time. She's almost 21.
Jeepers.
But to have her say, like, a characteristic that she thinks is great about her mom or what, and she's like, work ethic.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Unprompted, like
holy cow.
Yeah.
We
Be
were
honest.
both crying, by the way. Thank you, Baxter and Allie. Raleigh and I were both crying. But I think that's going to be an exciting thing for you starting your business as you did. Because I started my business when she was 13.
Yeah.
So now she's 19. And for a while I was like, oh my God, I probably wasn't the best mom. I probably didn't have the best balance.
Yeah.
I probably, didn't listen as much as I should have to her because I had other things on my mind. But then to see it come full circle, I think it's great that you're, and your son, how cool is that? My mom's on a billboard. My mom's on a sign. Like, there's my mom again in the neighborhood. It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's huge. You're setting an example for your kids too, to kind of like reach for those goals for yourself.
correct. Yeah.
Working for 5 years, a job that you loved, but then also it's like next level to work for yourself and to show your kids that you can do it and that you can have that time and you can spend that quality time, but then also have this freedom
Correct.
financially too, to kind of make your own hours and
Yes,
and
and
be
I
there for
think
the sports and
that
all
was
the
a
extra
big
things.
thing
For
Right.
them that they're feeling right now is, oh, mom's around a lot more.
Yeah.
Like she's picking us up at school every day. We don't have to go to aftercare. They're
More
starting to
available.
understand like,
Yep.
oh, hey,
Yeah.
this,
But yet
And
she's
loving it.
up and
this
Loving
dressed
but she's going
Yeah.
to work.
for success this morning.
Correct.
We'll just give a plug because we like to give
you.
plugs. You
Need
walked
to
in looking like a
compliment the fit
million,
here.
$1 million bucks.
That's thanks to JLux.
There you go.
Thanks.
Kelly.
Yep. Thanks, Kelly. Kelly's located over off of Hoffman Road.
Yep.
There we go.
In JLux. So if you need your business looks upgraded and casual looks, she's
And
got
casual.
all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So we love that you support that. If there was one property in Green Bay that you could pick to sell or buy, what would
man.
it be?
Lambeau Field. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
Besides Lambeau. I mean,
Besides Lambeau
Yeah.
Field. I don't know if I'd want to try to sell that.
I
That
don't
would
think
be
so.
a pain in the
Yeah.
butt.
Like if it wasn't about the process, but it was just like, I love this space. It's
uniqueness
so
of it.
cool.
The story, maybe if you know the owner or whatever, right? Like,
That's
Like
a
a
really
little on the
tough
spot
question
question.
That
because
is a big
I
on the
feel
spot.
like I'm more on like if I could get my hands on some like older buildings to kind of repurpose,
Like the vault.
Flip.
Just kidding.
that would
Gotta go.
be something I would be like, all right, let
Because
me,
you have that background of flipping
Yes.
things. You can
and I have a
visualize it.
vision,
Yeah.
and
There's a lot of those, I
There
feel
is a lot in Green
There's
Bay.
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like you drive down GV in Monroe, and there's buildings pop up.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Oh
a
my
lot of
gosh.
new commercial property happening,
Farm fields are
right? Like,
gone.
Yeah.
the development is wild over there.
It is so
Yeah.
crazy.
how much.
Oh my gosh, the traffic.
Every
is
time I
horrible.
go past, there's a new building.
Yeah.
There's
There
is.
something new
Why
up
do we
every
need
time I
another
go
coffee
there.
shop
I
that's
was
not
saying-
open on Mondays?
We're
Like, I
at-
don't.
Right. Thank you for
7
that.
coffee shops in that vicinity.
I know.
It's insane.
I love it.
good thing I
No
love
matter
that.
where you turn, you're covered. You can touch
Yep.
coffee.
You don't have to wait in any lines.
So you prefer the older buildings with some charm and some,
I would love to tackle
possibility?
a project like that.
Okay.
Like an old restaurant or just like an old like
It could be an
housing.
apartment.
Like, I think of the
yeah,
building
like-
downtown, like where the cannery is, like that
Oh, and
huge big building downtown.
And what he's done down there is so cool. I actually helped put a tenant. He's not open yet, but he'll be coming soon in those buildings. That it's just such a cool, unique experience, and I think the vibe is there.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's so many.
And if
cool
you're not
vibe
getting in
places.
downtown now, you're not going to get
Well,
in there
right?
eventually.
Correct.
It's a good opportunity to
Welcome
start.
to the public market.
I was just
right?
gonna
Yeah,
say,
for
plus
real.
with the public
Oh, yeah.
market, I mean,
Yes.
everything that's going to be there. I went to their little like soft launch type
happening. Yeah.
situation last month with a friend, and
I'm
when
not
we-
sure that that's what it was called.
Whatever it's
but
called.
Situation.
Yeah. Their soft launch situation.
I don't know what it is.
Shout out to Public Market on Broadway.
It's amazing. I don't know what it was, but it was because I was expecting it to be a little bit more developed.
Oh, sure.
And it was a bare cold warehouse yet, and
Yep.
so it was cool because they had the blueprints and all the things
Yeah.
that they were talking about. And when they're walking through, I mean, the event space that's going up there, that's going to redefine what a wedding
Oh,
in
yeah.
downtown Green Bay is
Yeah.
going to be, or events in general, just parties and things like that. That nightlife, the farmers market vibes, the way that they're going to be able to kind of push to the street. And I mean, just the vision behind it.
Yeah.
People are going to want to live down there. People are
sure.
going to want to have that city life vibe that I feel like when
to be
like,
25 again.
Yes,
Yeah,
and to be able to
right.
live in an upper overlooking the city of
Yeah.
Green Bay,
Vibe.
the
Yeah,
river,
yeah,
and all
right.
that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You have so many young single people coming to the area. Entrepreneurs are not coming for their jobs,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it is. It's really cool to be able to be putting people up there.
And I think you can do that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to ask if you're going to go off of that finish because mine's a different direction. So
Oh,
go
no, it wasn't. Same direction. Totally different.
Totally different. Okay,
Yeah,
should we just
about
sit
the-
here and just let you
Yeah.
should go? I should. You
You
should
had
go?
your finger
Okay,
up.
right.
I'll go.
Let's do it.
Mandy's going to go.
Yeah. the businesses that you work for or have worked for, I don't know if you can give them a shout out or say, hey, I loved being able to work with these businesses. I don't know if you can or not, but is that your ideal target audience and your ideal client? Someone that's hiring you as a business owner in our community that's looking for a new place for their business?
Business owner or investor. It could
Or
be
investor,
somebody
okay.
who owns a portfolio of
Commercial
a variety of
properties.
things.
Yeah.
And they're either looking to expand or they want to get rid of some. I would say anything in the world of from industrial all the way to multifamily. I'm helping somebody with multifamily right now,
Okay.
which has been kind of an interesting because he wants to repurpose some stuff. So it's kind of been a unique hunt to find and look at these buildings and be like, well, I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So
It's cool to be on the back end of that process.
Yeah.
To
Right.
see it.
People would pick or choose you, number one, if they're a business owner looking to upgrade or downsize
Correct.
or sell or retire. But number two, that have a vision for like, hey, I'm a martial arts school and I want a space. And you're like, we can turn this into a martial arts school. And you can have the vision to help them see that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Very cool.
My question was more centered around how, the world of Green Bay is going to change in April when the draft hits. Have you felt that push or pressure from potential buyers of like, I need to get a space because I want to get up and running before 100,000 people flood the city and we can make all our money in 3 days, basically?
For sure. I think at least once a week, we're getting a call about somebody who wants to be near or in the vicinity.
There's only so many spaces.
Isn't that basically all of Green Bay? Because it's 12 miles wide.
Sell. So they're putting deals together now that will close
prior.
Is their mindset that they're going to sell top dollar because of the draft? Like sell now?
I think a lot of them know that
they're almost ready to get out.
Yeah, and I think that they're good people. They're fair. There's obviously an opportunity for them, and some of them don't want to get out before the draft, but they want to be out after the draft. So they're kind of sweetening the pot for these buyers to say, hey.
Versus gouging them.
Correct.
I love that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Midwest nice.
It is. It is for sure the Midwest nice.
That is fascinating. From a development perspective too, like as you look around the city of Green Bay, right? Have you been a native your entire life
Yes.
here? Okay.
Yep.
How often do you look at the city and say, holy smokes, like we have changed even in the 5 years, 3 years, right? Like, is it what you would have assumed from a commercial perspective, like development wise, is where we're at? Like the public market coming to Green Bay, I'm still like, wait, really? Like, how is that?
Really cool.
Okay, that's really awesome, right? Like, how do you view the city in that lens?
I think Green Bay is only becoming a better place to live. I think I was just talking to somebody the other day that this area is so good for raising a family. We are so fortunate with the schools, public and private, that we've got the neighborhoods and all of that. Bringing all of this development here, like the GVs, even De Pere, like out by Starbucks and McDonald's, and the industrial parks that are kind of popping up in these more like suburban areas. It's phenomenal. It brings so many people here, and there's so much job opportunity that why wouldn't you want to live here?
Definitely.
What do you think is the biggest hot spot right now? Where are people looking to plant their business? Where do they want, other than buy Lambo because of the draft, right? So we took the draft out of the equation.
Yeah, take that out. I think Howard is still a hot spot, and not necessarily like out in like the further Howard area, but that Green Bay Howard border. I also, the GV area is,
that lets you,
it's happened.
Just
I'm a little
out
partial.
the highway.
Yeah.
So we don't have to sit there for 10 minutes
to get on and off.
To get on and off. But I think that Ledgeview area for these kind of smaller local businesses.
We had stop and go lights in Florida on our highways.
Oh.
Like 2 lanes that you drive in, like the green. It's like a 3 to 4 second delay, but like it like kind of always keeps traffic
regulates
flowing, but
it.
you're not constantly.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of someone flipping me off getting onto the highway the other day. I'm like, where do you want me to go? Like there's a car next to me, there's a car in front of me, there's a car behind me. Like you have the yield, but I don't think that the one finger wave was intended for niceness. It was not Midwest nice.
Like,
that's not Midwest nice.
Occasionally you have those people.
Be careful. I might know you and take your picture and put you on my social media.
Get somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to call you out.
This driver's
on the De Pere page.
Right.
I see that all the time. People calling people out on the pages on Facebook.
It's like, every time I park bad, I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm going to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me go
you
straighten
park
out.
like an asshole. Get
exactly right. It's fine.
Sorry, I forgot we were recording.
It happens to the best of us. Rebecca, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So you can find me on Facebook, Rebecca Larsen. Just add me. I do have a business page.
Okay, I was going to say, you don't have a
I do have a business page, but either or is totally fine.
You answer all social media
I do answer
yourself?
all social media myself.
Yeah.
You can also go to my website, which is rebecca.benbardo.com, and get in touch with me that way. Otherwise, you can call me.
Love it.
Sweet.
Love it.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Well, Rebecca,
Nice.
thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited that you got to come on and join you. I got to meet you. I think I've known you through social media and mutual friends forever, but got to meet you, have coffee with you, find out a little bit about your story. And we said, we should have you on the podcast.
I love it.
So
Love
Thank
it.
you.
love
This
it.
is very
Our
fun.
pleasure.
Cool.
Good. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to let Baxter wrap because he always does it so much better with his radio voice of where you get your podcast.
Such a pressure. Yeah, I love it. Well, we always appreciate our listeners. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Every Monday, the episodes come out. Please continue to tell your friends. We're always grateful when you reach out as well. If you have a guest that you would love us to interview, please let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to do so. And we appreciate you tuning in. For Allie and Mandy, I'm Baxter Colburn. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on The Real Chat.
Thanks.
Bye.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.